Hi, I'm Kelly,
I'm Allison.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Kristen.
and this is Fear and Wine. Welcome back to Fear and Wine. We are a podcast about horror TV shows, movies, and more, and we are covering season 2 of Them, The Scare. And today, Kristen's going to cover episode 4 for us, which has some birthday party themes to it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the title's Happy Birthday, Sweet Boy.
Yes, very disturbing birthday party. So our question, because of that, is what is your most memorable birthday party? Does anyone have one that really sticks out, either from your
I
childhood?
have
Mine's
one.
actually not from my
I'm
childhood.
happy
but...
to.
Okay.
Oh, mine
Go
is
ahead.
from my childhood,
Yeah.
so I'm happy to go first with this one because it's kind of a funny story. So I think the ET came out in 1982, and so I think I was turning 7 or 8. It was either 83 or 84, and I had one of those Pizza Hut parties. I don't know if you guys remember the old style Pizza Huts with the red cups and all that. And so
Yes.
so so my mom actually went to high school with the guy who was in the ET suit in the ET movie and had this brilliant idea to have him come to my party and surprise me. Well, she set it up and he did come, but he didn't come in the ET suit. He was a little person. And she said I cried. And this part I don't remember, but the story's been told so many times that I just feel like I know it, even though I don't remember that part. But she said I cried and it was so embarrassing because, she was just so excited and I acted like I was horrified in some way of this poor man. But I was just a kid and didn't understand and probably had never seen a little person before. Maybe I had watched Troll recently or something, who knows? But it was not that my birthday party, my most memorable birthday party is that. So
That would have been awesome if he had shown up in the ET suit.
right?
Yeah.
Would that have
It
scared
would have
you?
been a
do you
whole
think?
different story. No, I loved ET. I was obsessed with him. I cried in front of everyone in my school. We watched ET as a entire school in the auditorium. And even now, if I watch it, that part where he's dying and turning
Oh my
white,
gosh,
and
yes.
I cry every time. So
Yeah, that is such a sad scene. I know exactly what you mean. Oh, I think I had heard something whenever they were filming it, that in between scenes, they acted like E.T. was real for Drew Barrymore, so she kind of
I did
treated it
hear
like it was
that.
a real
Oh,
creature.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't think he was taking the head off and doing smoke breaks or anything in between where she
No.
could see.
So
but
cute. She was
yeah, that is cute.
adorable in that. Oh
She
my
was
gosh,
super
was she
adorable.
adorable?
Yeah. I mean, I can go if you want.
Okay.
I don't really remember. I do have one that I remember getting some Barbie roller skates at, and I think I had a picture somewhere. And so I don't know if you guys are like this, but I feel sometimes when I have photos of particular memories, it makes the memory stronger. And I don't know if it's that I'm remembering the picture so much, but I do remember just specifically the Barbie skates from that party, which was all I ever wanted. But one that I'm super proud of for some reason is when I think I turned 3, maybe 4. And my godmother ordered a man with a monkey, an organ grinder guy with a little monkey that wore clothes for my party.
No way.
Yes, and I mean, over the years, pictures have gone who knows where, but I did have a photo of the monkey, sitting in my lap at one point, and can you even do that now? Can
I
you even
shouldn't.
think so.
You
Let's not.
shouldn't. No, you shouldn't, but if you
I don't think it's
could.
legal.
No,
There's
it
got to be.
probably
There's
isn't.
somebody doing it still, I'm sure.
Of course. I mean, you can go to the
Tanya's
fair.
doing it.
You who? Oh, Tanya the
Chimp crazy Tanya. My
Chimp
girl.
ape lady,
crazy.
yeah. Chimp
Yeah.
crazy, yeah. Well, I know you could go to the fair, and every year my kids are excited to pay $10 and take a picture with the little monkey. But I mean, I always feel bad for those animals. I'm they're working; they're probably not even seeing that cash. You know what I mean? It's all going. It's all going to the owner. But yeah, I remember being a kid and just being so proud of having all these photos that I had a monkey at my birthday party. So even though
That's
I
great.
remember it more through the pictures, I still feel I guess that's probably one of my more
Yeah, I mean, that's
memorable
part of it, I
parties.
think, for childhood things. Yeah, I remember things through
Yeah.
the pictures.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it
You know
makes the
what?
memory stronger.
Can I mention one more that just popped into
Yeah.
my head while we were
Yeah.
talking? Because there's actual video footage of this one, which makes it even better. When I turned 13, my mom had one of those family parties for me where it was all the older relatives. I had a lot of great aunts and uncles. So it was an older crowd. And my friend Desiree and Kelly and I decided to do our dance to EPMD's "So What You Saying" in front of all of my old relatives. And you know, it's a rap song at a time when, you know, all these old white Polish people were like my mom panned around the room with the camera and the looks on all
Do you still have
all
that
the
video?
I do. My mom has the VHS tapes. So yeah, it's something that I actually can go back and look at and remember because it's visually there. So it is just hilarious.
Can
But
we
so
see
that's a
that
memorable one
sometime?
too.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
should
Yeah,
watch that
absolutely.
sometime.
I'll show you guys for sure.
I love it. Can you imagine if she'd filmed whenever the man from ET came to your party and like it was just
Yes.
I
you,
wish.
the smile slowly fading
Screaming.
from your face and you
I'd love
running?
to see that. Some reason kids
Big fan.
crying in terror cracks me up sometimes. When it's like stuff that like they shouldn't be scared of, or you know that's not scary. It's just so funny to see little
Yeah.
kids
Like
do that sometimes.
Seinfeld when George runs and yells fire at the birthday party and he's like trampling over kids to get away.
He pushes the little kids out of the way.
The other day I saw a little kid at a farm on a video and he walked up to a donkey and the donkey started to make a really loud noise and the kid just hauled ass like as fast as he could, kept on running. The mom's calling for him and he's like, sayonara.
Right. Outta
It
here.
was so funny.
Ugh, that's too funny. I don't know if you heard, Leah, when you were describing yours, Allison going, because Allison does not like monkeys. So every time you said the
I
word
do
monkey,
not like
Oh,
monkeys.
she does
no,
not
really?
like monkeys.
It was a cute little one. It
No,
was
there's
like
nothing.
She doesn't like
There's no
any of
such
it.
thing.
It was the little
Were you
capuchin ones, I
horrified
think.
in
yeah,
Costa
the little
Rica then?
capuchin, I
Oh
think.
no, it's not a horrifying thing. I don't like.
She just hates
monkeys.
them.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, she's not
Did
scared
you
of them.
guys
She's
not
have any
scared.
come on your patio like we did,
No,
Kelly?
I don't
Yeah.
think we
Oh.
were on
No.
that side where most of the monkeys were. I guess.
So we
Okay.
were
We had
on the,
iguanas everywhere.
yeah, we were on the side with the
Oh.
howler monkeys, and they had more howler monkeys, and
okay.
they stay up in the trees. Those are
They
the
stay
bigger
away
black
from you.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the capuchins were the ones that come and bother you. But
Yeah,
we
like
Oh, they
the
love
beach we
it.
were on didn't have too many capuchins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
All right.
did you see there was a video circulating recently of a lady who was like kayaking in Ocala in one of the springs
Yes.
and they have the monkeys. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
Allison just sent
They
it
all
to me
jumped into
last
the
night.
water.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
and
she
they
was
were
just
holding, like,
giggling. Oh, what is she giggling about?
she's like, "Oh, one jumped next to me."
They were like cannonballing into the water.
that's
I
not
thought
her.
it was kind of
That
hilarious.
It
could've
wasn't-
landed
it
on her
wasn't
head.
It wasn't cute at all because I was like, first of all, I didn't know where it was. Allison sent me this. She's like, what the hell is she laughing about? Why is this funny? It honestly looks like the beginning of an apocalyptic horror film. Like
Yeah,
all the
or like
monkeys are escaping. No, that was not cute at
You
all.
did have the thought they're running from something, lady, so you
Right.
should be looking behind you, actually. But yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's just having a good time. Get out of the way.
What kind of monkeys were those? Were those the rhesus macaque monkeys?
Are those the ones that are on that little island? I think it
I
was
think
those.
so. I think
Yeah.
so. But I mean, I thought it was cool. But yeah, it was a significant amount of monkeys, and it did give a little bit of like Planet of the Apes kind of vibe.
Yeah, before Allison and I do our birthday things, for those of you might be confused because we're suddenly talking about like monkeys in our neighborhood. It's something that's Florida people know about it, but if you're not from Florida, you might not know that there's this very small area near us in Florida. And it's a little island that has a now wild population of monkeys due to them filming Tarzan here and bringing monkeys
Yeah.
in and then just leaving them.
Yeah.
So
It's
we
Silver
have our own
Spring.
little in
Yeah.
Silver Springs. We have our own little area of
Yeah.
monkeys. They don't really leave that area, but just in case we weren't all in Thailand together, we do have a little area of monkeys here in Florida
Right.
for whatever.
The story's great. The dummies thought that the monkeys couldn't swim, and so they brought them to this island, and they all just jumped into the water and swam away. And so
Mhm,
that's how we ended up with them.
Now they
So
have
it's
their,
too
like,
funny.
Monkey Island or something.
Yeah,
like
there's a little
they
monkey
call it.
No,
island.
it's the whole. They're all over the place over
Yeah.
there. It's
Mhm.
it's cool though. It's cool to see.
Yeah.
It's cool till they're dive bombing you and you have nowhere to run to.
Yeah, and they're not tiny monkeys. They're little.
No.
To me, they're medium-sized monkeys. It's a little scary. Yeah, but
Yeah, I thought it
yeah.
was cool, but yeah, I don't know that I'd want to necessarily be in
I don't
in
need
that
to be over there.
situation. But I'll watch it in a video.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
exactly.
kayaking by myself down Silver Spring anyway. But you know,
No.
that's neither here. I'm going to be in a boat with a motor if I'm on
and a
anywhere where there's
cover.
alligators. Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, especially with the alligators. I think you can see the manatees there well too, right?
Is that like Homosassa
Yeah.
area?
It's more the homicide. It's warmer. Yeah, they like they tend to go there during the winter months into the
Mhm.
springs because
Mhm.
it's the water's warm enough for them in the summer and then when they go there during the winter months. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
you can definitely see them there.
yeah. So there's just a little Florida travel guide. But anyway, back
Yeah.
to
Okay,
back
anyway,
to the birthday.
back
I'll
to
do
the
mine
episode.
real quick because mine wasn't so. I I hope my mom doesn't feel bad. I don't remember any birthdays as a kid.
I
I'm
personally don't think
sure.
she gave us any. I don't think she wanted the kids in her house. I don't think she wanted
I
to
know
deal
there
with
I
were
other
hope
people's
Miriam hear this.
parents.
there were parties and we had sleepovers and like our friends got to come over. I just don't recall any
But that would always
any
be
sort
like a
of
small group. It was
memorable
never
birthday.
like
Yeah.
give an invitation to everybody in your classroom.
No, you
Like,
got a cap. There was
yeah.
never. It was never everyone is invited situation.
Right. But
That
all the
happened.
other
I have
kids
a
would be
feeling
like,
we're
yeah,
going to hear
here's an
differently about
invitation.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
It
think your
might. You
mom's gonna
probably
tell us a
will. You
different
probably.
story.
I don't remember
Okay.
it though.
Yeah. So my most memorable birthday for me was my golden birthday, which was my 25th birthday. And I was living in Los Angeles. My boyfriend at the time and some of my friends had rented out my favorite like bar or restaurant, and we had this huge party. Like everybody came. People I didn't even know were there. It was just one of those
Oh,
parties that people kept inviting people and just grew. But I
that
had the
sounds
best
fun.
time. It was probably the only time I remember being like drunk, where like time chunks go missing.
Mhm.
Because and I don't think I've ever been that drunk before or since, because I get so sleepy before alcohol kick it, but can really like fully take over. But I think it was just like so many people, and people just kept, on your birthday, people just keep buying you stuff. It was the first time I
Yeah.
ever tried Jaeger, and that was foul.
Oh, it
Somebody
is
just handed
foul.
people
Oh,
just
the
handed me shots. I was
worst.
like, all
Yuck.
right, I'll taste this. But because I don't
But
actually
give me a
take,
co-
go
but
ahead.
add it to like add it. We'll put it in a car bomb and it's like there's certain things you can mix it with
Really?
that it tastes
Mhm.
okay. Oh yeah, but by itself,
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
not.
it's
Yeah.
A
gross
lot of
by
people do
itself.
Red Bull and Jaeger.
Well, see, I
I
was
don't like it.
lucky because I never, still to this day, can't actually take a shot like as a shot. I have to sip everything, so I tasted. I was like, oh no, we didn't. So I didn't have to even
You can take
finish
this
the
back.
drink. Yeah, I just handed that right back. But yeah, that was my most memorable birthday party when I
That
turned
sounds so
25 on the 25th.
fun. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we
That's
really
really
suck
cool.
as friends because we've never rented out anything for you,
Oh
and
no,
I
that
think
was
you turn.
insane.
Plus, you're only like 27 now anyway, so
Exactly.
we have time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
hmm
I'm still gonna do my Bravo theme party, so that's gonna happen
Please
at
do.
some
Please.
Can
point.
we all dress as like a different housewife?
Yeah, that's why I
Sure.
The
always said I
character. I
wanted
love
to
that
do for
character thing. Okay.
bachelorette party theme was a
That would be
Bravo
so
Bravo
fun.
night.
Oh, and dressed as a
Will you
housewife.
provide a
Yeah.
script so we can act out a scene? Like
Their one-liners.
I
Sure.
think that'd be so
I
fun.
think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be my when I hit 50. I'm saving that for
I
that
love
big
All right.
that.
party. Maybe
Okay.
I'll be able to afford a big party then.
Or I think it's also
Maybe we can
cute.
all go to Vegas for it. Sorry.
Ooh. No, it's also cute when people do parties and they like the friends will dress as like different versions of that person.
Oh yeah, I've
Have you ever
seen
seen
those.
that? Or like different eras of their life and they'll pick like an outfit of them in in an old kid photo or something and dress like that. I mean, it's cheesy,
Wow.
but it's kind of funny sometimes too.
Allison, did
Yeah.
you have one?
Yeah, mine's also not from childhood because I
Okay.
truly don't think she.
I
I just don't think
we
she
had
wanted to
parties.
deal with everybody and
I don't
I
think
everything
don't
so
in
blame
either.
her,
her house
honestly.
and
It's a lot.
on her stuff. But mine was my 21st birthday because my mom and dad actually did rent a limo for me, and a group of my
Ooh.
friends went down to South Tampa and drank and had a good time. And then everybody who drank, my mom said, no, just spend the night at the house. Nobody's driving home. And I
Aw.
remember just in the middle of the night hearing my mom arguing with two of my friends, what sounded to be
Yes.
like a political argument.
remember this.
I woke up out of my drunkenness and walked out there and said, what is going on? And they're like, oh, we're just talking. I was like,
Oh,
it is the
that's so
middle of the
funny.
go to bed, everybody. Like, why are we still up?
She only invited people back because she needed some company.
I
She's like, I really need somebody to talk to.
They were in there having a heated argument. I was like, oh my God,
That's
why?
great.
But it was, what, 2000? How old am I? It was early 2000, so it wasn't like as hostile as it would be now when people
Right,
would
yeah.
argue. It was still lighthearted and fun, but I'm sure today she probably would have kicked some people out of the house. Be like, just don't even come to my house right now. Just
I'm sure she was just over there. Oh, I heard about this party because I was living in California, so I wasn't there. But I think she was and then she'll just like give people life advice. She probably just went into lectures at some point.
yeah, she would
And
always.
it's
She was good about that. Just giving people lectures. They didn't ask for them.
Listen, I know it's hard when it's from your own parent, but it's like the older I get, the more I appreciate wisdom from people who are older than me. It's like they've lived situations that I haven't, so I should maybe listen. But it's hard when it's from your own parents.
Yeah,
though.
everyone
is
appreciated
there
what she
when-
had to say, but I was just like, Mom, please.
Yeah, because our friends always want my mom around, and we're like, why? Like, they're always like, oh, is she gonna be there, or can your mom? Like, they'll
She's
hang out.
fun. Yeah, I'd hang
Yeah,
out with her
she's fun.
anytime. So
Well, now that I've learned that she and I are both on the King of Queens train, like
That's
I'm
true.
just like, invite me over, let's pop some popcorn and let's get a marathon going because I'll watch that any day.
Yeah. Well, those are good
fabulous.
birthdays. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a good segue into the episode because again, it's
Yes.
titled "Happy Birthday, Sweet Boy," and it is episode 4 of them season 2 of The Scare. So you guys ready to hear about it?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
let's do it. For this birthday themed episode, we have paired the Cakebread Cellars 2024 Sauvignon Blanc Reserve from Napa Valley. This medium bodied white wine opens with aromas of ripe pear, white peach, lemon curd, citrus blossom, and herbs. The palate has vibrant flavors of grapefruit, melon, and lemongrass. With a silky texture and bright acidity, this wine has a graceful finish and refreshing citrus lift. Pair this wine with light fare such as chicken, shellfish, and grilled vegetables. Enjoy! For more information about us and all of the wines that we feature, visit our website at fearandwine.com. And make sure you follow Fear and Wine wherever you listen to podcasts so that you don't miss a new episode. And if you like us, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Thanks!
The episode begins with Edmund at his adoptive father's doorstep, and this person is named Dr. Gaines. We learned that he is the self-help author that we actually keep hearing Edmund listening to through his headphones.
Oh.
Yeah, and so we can actually at this point hear like you're focused more on what he's listening to because he has those headphones on, and we hear Gaines talking about how the foundations of life are built in childhood. And at this point, Edmund is there to demand some answers. He wants to know why he was placed in a group home at age 12. Why did they hide him from, ever existing in their life? Why was he discarded? So you kind of get an idea that of why Edmund feels the way he does and kind of where he's ended up the place he has. So Gaines and his wife, who is named Adele, attempt to reason with Edmund. They talk about that they had to protect their biological daughter. So apparently after they had adopted Edmund, they ended up having their own biological daughter. And they said that they were fearful that they didn't know what Edmund could become or what he was capable of. He alludes to something happening, something concerned. Does he say that he thought that he could rape her or something, Kelly?
I think that's the impression I got, that he thought he might
Okay.
do, because
Yeah.
I think they were just Edmund might have been all over the place, or maybe because he says, yeah, you were becoming a teenager and hormones started kicking. He does mention that,
Hormones.
and maybe he just started acting out inappropriately with kids at school or something. But
Yeah, I wasn't sure. It's not
Mhm.
said directly, right?
Yeah, and mind you, so when this talk is happening, Edmund has walked in on this huge party they're having. There's this fancy
Yeah.
party
Oh,
his
I'm sorry. I
family's
forgot to
having.
mention
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So he's like
I
an
forgot to mention
inappropriate
that.
time and place for him to be confronting his parents. And his adoptive parents
Yeah.
were white, and Edmund is black.
Yes, and it's a
Yeah.
big party outside. Everybody's dressed up, it's kind of
Mhm.
one of those idyllic white
Dancing.
rich people
Yeah.
parties. Yeah. So he just storms in the middle of that. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't mention that, but that is a good point to make. So again, they're talking that they were protecting their biological child. They allude to concerns that he could have harmed her, and they do paint him as a threat. He asks why his dad couldn't help him then, since Gaines is all about helping people. And he says that some people can't be fixed and that they had to send Edmund away so their quote unquote real daughter would be safe. And
Aw.
he he stumbles when he says it. Like I think he realizes he shouldn't have said that, but he says it and Edmund hears it and it's kind of horrible. He pleads with him. He says that he even starts kind of admitting what's going on with himself. He's like, I can't tell what's real and what's not real anymore. And you can tell this is like a major cry for help. Anything to add on that, Kelly?
I think in this episode you learn a lot of Edmund's backstory. Well, we
Backstory.
start to
Yeah.
learn it, because I think through the rest of the episodes we get more and more. But
Yeah.
so you kind of start to, like Leah said, oh, you're gonna feel from him a little bit in this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So as he's continuing to plead, the Gaines and the wife, they walk away and they basically leave him just standing there alone and he has tears streaming down his cheeks. So this scene definitely for me pulled on my heartstrings and
Mhm.
definitely made me feel bad for him. Meanwhile, Dawn is doing her little investigation on McKinney, following him around. She is mad about what happened with Kelvin. So she actually does this little like undercover thing where she kind of sets herself up to be in an auto place where his wife has to sit and wait for her car. And she quote unquote runs into her, but she pretends to be the wife of a cop. She's like, oh, my husband's a cop. And Lay's like, oh, mine is too. And she kind of like draws her in.
Mhm.
So she actually learns through the wife that McKinney was out the night of the second murder because we're starting to realize that Dawn is suspecting that McKinney might be involved in what's
Mhm.
happened because remember those girls said that he had red hair and McKinney's a
Right.
ginger. So,
Mhm.
mhm.
And
So she's
they
got
already
the
think it could be a
suspicion.
cop, so she's
That
starting to put
Ronald
all
Mhm.
her things
McDonald
together.
looking
Yeah,
motherfucker.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Ronald the Ronald McDonald looking motherfucker. So she also learns, like, she's really good at like, she's almost like my mom in that she knows how to ask questions within questions and then get answers that she was trying to get. So she also learns that he has had brutality complaints in the past and that he was tied up in a murder investigation in the early 80s for beating a young black man to death.
Oh.
So
Mhm.
yeah. So it's nighttime now, and Edmund is like, he's now cruising like Hooker Row, where the prostitutes hang out. He flashes a wad of cash, and a woman actually gets into his car. And he does look, like he looks nerdy and kind of geeky. So I don't think if you were to walk up on him on a normal day that you would think he would be intimidating. So, she gets in the car and he pulls off with her and they go into an empty parking deck. And just as she's about to go to town, he starts asking all these judgy questions about what she does for a living, kind of judging that she's a prostitute or that she's making money off doing gross things to guys. And she's like, well, what do you do? And he says he's an actor and she laughs at him. And we've learned in the past that he definitely does not like to be laughed at. And
Mhm.
this ends up enraging him. He has that money and he starts throwing money at her and he's screaming at her. And she's now getting really scared and she asks to be let out of the car. He locks the door and starts asking her about her parents and says that they don't care about her and she could disappear and no one would even know. I think he's projecting a little bit because, that's how he feels, I think, too, kind of. And that no one would know. And he's really intimidating her in the way of, I'm about to kill you, and you're a prostitute and no one cares about you. So who gives a shit? So she looks at him and she says, you're him, aren't you? And just as he begins yelling in her face, the cops pull up and they flash their lights. So, they're probably looking around for Johns and things like that in this area because he didn't go very far from where he picked her up. Edmund now has this really eerie smirk on his face as the cops open the trunk and then they find the pig costume in there amongst some other like weird items. So they decide to bring him to the station for questioning and they said that the woman he was with was in quote unquote a state and asks if he wanted to hurt her. They admit that 16 girls are actually missing from that area and are attributing it to the quote unquote South Side Slayer. So
Oh,
this is the
wow.
first time we hear about this, right,
Mhm. Right.
Kelly? So
Yes.
because the current serial killer doesn't have a name yet, does he? Or
No, they haven't
are they?
given him a
Okay.
name, and I don't think they've equated it as like one person because one person's MO seems to be attacking like he's attacked two girls and a woman and hasn't really attacked like hookers or anything like that. So it's a different group. I don't think they've put those two together
Yeah.
yet. Yeah.
But is
Yeah.
this
Are we?
something that's like in the news, or it's just the cops are breaking this news now that like, oh no, by the way,
And
there is this other killer?
I think the prostitutes know amongst each other that something is
Yeah.
Oh,
happening. They tend to
okay.
know before it'll go out in the news, like, so amongst their own community, that's what she said, "Oh,
Mhm.
you're him." So other girls work in their rows might have been
Ah,
missing or being roughed up by somebody. So I feel like they're talking about two different people as far as we know now. I
that
don't think
makes sense.
anybody thinks that it's
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so too. But when Edmund hears the moniker, he seems to get kind of excited and he starts wistfully staring into this two-way mirror while the name repeats kind of romantically in his head, the Southside Slayer, the Southside Slayer.
Oh,
Mhm.
So
that's
it's definitely, I
weird.
think, the first time he's hearing it and he's like kind of excited. So which I think we're supposed to believe that he is the guy responsible for, but it's not clear 100%. So I don't think we're
Yeah.
supposed to know for sure, but we're
Like, it
supposed to
almost
be
seems to m
suspicious.
to me like he's thinking like, "Oh, that could be me. I could have a nickname like that everyone would
Yeah.
know."
Yeah, maybe.
You
Yeah.
know?
I think it's more wistful of like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be famous as this because he didn't get that
Mhm.
part. That was the role he really wanted. He's like, but
Mm-hmm.
what if I was
Mm-hmm.
a real one and I already have a
Oh.
name? It's like, yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
more sense, actually. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So the cops, he's like kind of in a trance as he's, having this moment, and this creepy smile breaks out on his face, and the cops break him out of the trance. And at this point, it's such a cool scene and shot because he actually turns to the camera and he breaks the fourth wall and he grabs the end of the camera and pulls it kind of like towards himself and starts perfecting the close up shot on his face
It's
as
so
he talks about.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really cool because only I it only happens here at this point. Like, it's not something that they're doing throughout the show, so I
Mhm.
found it really extra kind of effective. So he grabs the end of the camera, and I'm sure they had a camera probably filming the interview. So I think initially that's what you're thinking he's going to do, but
Mhm.
he starts talking directly to the camera and it's like he's talking to you. And he talks about murder and what is special about it. It's really a creepy sort of scene. The cop found VHS tapes in the back of the trunk when they found the pig costume, and they're now reviewing those tapes and they expect to find something sick, but instead it's like an audition reel that includes line for line all the weird shit that he's saying to the camera in the room to us. So
Mhm.
the weird things he's saying about murder and how it's special and all this creepy shit he's saying ends up being on these audition tapes. They're like lines that he was given to audition for something.
Mm.
So they think he's just some wackadoo that's like a false confessor, and they cut him loose and they say that he's just running lines. This is ridiculous. Let's get him out of here. He's wasting our time. And then they yell at Edmund and they walk out of the room. And after they walk out, Edmund begins to scream and cry, and he looks sad but also angry at the same time. And I think he's pissed because they don't see him as being capable of
Mhm.
being that. Like he's feeling like they're not believing his quote unquote audition, which is
Right.
it's
Mhm.
really weird. It's like a whole meta moment that happens there.
It's so
Yeah.
ironic too that in the show he's kind of like not great at delivering his lines whenever he's auditioning. He's kind of not great at
Mhm.
giving the killer vibe, but like yet everything we've seen of him, he is legitimately like scary,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. So I think it's why I don't know. I think maybe we figure it out by the end, but it's kind of like either are we seeing the Edmund in his mind where he thinks he's this great
Yeah.
actor and he is delivering these lines perfectly and he is this serial killer, he can embody it, but then what is actually filmed when he's auditioning, other people aren't seeing it. So I think that's his worlds kind of colliding of like,
Uh,
I know I am
Yeah.
this. I can
yeah.
do this. So his
Mhm.
imagination is making him Denzel Washington, like he's this great actor, and, and it's just not adding up with what everyone else is seeing. And I think that's his
Mhm.
frustration. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that whole unreliable narrator thing when we're
Yeah,
seeing things from
exactly.
his perspective because we know he's going nuts. And so it's definitely, we can't trust everything that he thinks or says.
Mhm.
Um, So now we're back at Dawn's home, and Athena, her mom, is actually in the bathroom washing her hands and stuff. And she opens up the medicine cabinet and she sees the bottle of heart pills, the heart medicine that was given to Dawn at the hospital. And she puts them back in there. She turns, and as the camera pans to the hallway, we see a line of pills set out, and they're just leading one after another down the hallway in like a straight little line.
Like
They
Like
the
the
reminded
ET
me of when,
Reese's
yeah.
Pieces.
Or
Yeah.
like the cleaning
yeah,
supplies in
yeah,
the
Mhm.
first
that it made me think
episode.
of Leah bringing that up. Yep. Like Leah
Yeah.
brought up with those cleaning supplies being in that line down the hallway. So
Mhm.
it's kind of, but and I also like the Reese's Pieces because it brings us back to ET.
Back to
Yeah.
That's what
So
ET,
anyway,
yeah.
I should have we're watching the same show, so I should have made the connection to cleaning products. Immediately, I was like, "Oh, ET, like the Reese's Pieces." Like, that's immediately where I went when I watched it. Yeah.
Hey, it's
I
still
thought
got a
both. So
connection.
yeah, both are valid, 100%. Okay, so these pills end up leading to a box that Athena has kind of hidden in her room, and she picks it up, and as she picks it up, this ominous music starts playing. Meanwhile, we get some kind of flashes back to different people at this point. So if you have a question or I get you confused, let me know. Meanwhile, we're back to Dawn tailing McKinney, and she is following him from his home very carefully off the radar. And he ends up driving into this wooded lot, like out in the middle of nowhere. And Dawn follows, and she sees this kind of secret gathering happening. Like there's all these white middle-aged men together, and they're shooting pistols and they're murmuring about brotherhoods, and they're standing around together just having these like conversations. And I feel like it's that blue group that we've heard rumors about before or we've seen play out in other, shows that we've watched or talked about,
Mhm.
like a secret society almost
Yeah,
of
they're in, like, a
Mhm.
these
lodge out in, like,
mhm,
Yeah.
middle of nowhere,
almost
yeah.
the KKK, but without the masks kind of thing. So
Mhm.
it just has that vibe. So she's peeking and she's watching and she ends up tripping and making a noise, of course.
Oh no.
And McKinney appears. So he's there and he starts warning her, she better get away from here. There's horrible, like, she's exposed. You can tell she doesn't know really what to do in this moment. Her cover's blown. And at this point, a group of men come out and start surrounding her. like really in an intimidating fashion. They have guns. They're asking her what she wants. She said she wants to talk to McKinney about her son. She said he needs to leave her family alone. And the white men start to get closer to Dawn, but ultimately they let her go and they tell her that this incident never happened. You better never tell anybody about this. So she like fast walks away, and about these like it looks like 25 men are following her,
Yeah.
like walking
Ew.
steadily as she's running, kind of fast walking to her car. I mean, she's scared, but she does put on this good kind of face of strength. I would have ran immediately, but she's upset about her son. And so she does say what needed to be said, but she does drive away in a hurry. She gets out of there, which was the smart thing to do. Edmund now, on the other hand, has broken into someone's home and he is having a good old time eating the food. He starts ransacking things basically. He shits in the toilet. He rearranges the furniture, turns shit upside down, and then he pulls out a VHS tape and we realize that he's in Donovan's house, the guy from
The cameraman.
The cameraman from the casting
cameraman.
office, yeah.
Yeah. And he pulls out a videotape and it is a sixth birthday party for Donovan. And it's a little home video and it's a really sweet little scene, you know, of him and his mother. And his mother's talking to him about the birthday party and what does he want. And, you know, it's just this kind of sweet mother-son moment. And we can tell that he's kind of envious while he's watching it. We know he didn't have this mother figure or this experience when he was little. So now we flip back to Dawn's house again, and Athena appears now to be getting ready for bed. So she comes out of her room and she's heading towards like the bathroom and she hears the bath running. So she walks in and Dawn is actually sitting in the tub, like completely naked, and the water's running, but she's completely still, like she's not moving at all, and her back is to Athena. It's just kind of a creepy, I don't know. You immediately know something's off and it's creepy. And she slowly turns and to Athena and calls her a bad mom. And she says, "Why are you lying to me? Why are you lying to me?" She says that she knows about the box and wants to know what's in it. Athena says nothing. And Dawn gets this like maniacal grin on her face.
She does this
that-
face so well. I think she did it in
Ugh.
season 1
Yeah.
too, every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the face like the grin that Kelvin got. Was this cat? What was the guy's name?
The
So
son?
remember when the guy was
In the
grinning at
crowd?
her?
Oh,
Yeah,
the guy,
yeah, exactly.
from
The
episode
one that
2.
she chased.
Yeah, that has like
Yes,
that
it's a
start of the
Mhm.
Smile movie type of grin. Like, when
Yeah.
it first start.
Yeah. Super creepy. So just then, while we're seeing this face, we hear Kelvin's voice in the background, Dawn's son, and this startles Athena. Kind of like she looks at him, and then when she looks at the bathroom, nothing's there. So Dawn wasn't there. This was either in her imagination or some kind of apparition. We don't know yet, but when Donovan arrives home now, Edmund is waiting for him. So Donovan doesn't even get to the apartment to see like the shit in the toilet and everything. As he's coming through the parking lot, Edmund tackles him, ambushes him in the parking lot. He basically like, you know, there's a good fight that starts to happen. I mean, Donovan is trying, but Edmund ends up basically like knocking him unconscious and putting him in his trunk. So the real Dawn is now returning home. And as she enters, she's surprised to see Athena kind of like half awake, but she's holding a box on her lap. Athena, we realize, is crying and saying how much she loves her and how much her dad loved her. And Dawn doesn't understand what's happening. Like, why are you saying this stuff to me? I don't know what's going on. And Athena slowly pulls open the box and takes out a piece of paper. She begins to tell Dawn that she was adopted. She says, "We couldn't have kids. We planned to tell her when she was older, but they didn't want to ruin her happiness. They said she was such a happy child and she was so joyful. They didn't want to ruin that." And in this moment, she tries to hand the paper to Dawn and she said, "This is all your birth mother left." Dawn becomes hysterical and runs off without the note. So Athena's kind of just left there standing it because Dawn is in shock that she had no idea. And I think by seeing that medication, the mother kind of knew like she's taking a medication based on a history, the health history that she thinks she has and
Right.
that she doesn't.
Right.
And I think that's what kind of sparked that in her mind that she needed to tell her now. So we now are back with Edmund and Donovan, and he has Donovan tied up with like a whole at a table with like in a chair, sorry, with a whole kid's birthday set up around him. Now, Kelly, was this the basement back at the like Chuck E.
Yes.
Cheese kind of place? Okay, I
So
just wanted to.
this is the opening scene of episode 1.
Yes.
The very opening scene. We're seeing that again where there's a guy with the pillowcase over his head. So we now know who is under the pillowcase because remember it gets pulled off and then we cut and it kind of starts the show.
Yeah.
when I did
That's
that very
right.
first opening scene. So that's what's
That
going to
person
replay.
had
With-
rubber gloves, right?
Yeah, with
He
like
had
all
on
the
some sort of
naked
gloves.
animatronics.
With the
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now we're
Okay,
seeing this scene all over again. But now we
I
know it's
needed you to
Donovan.
remind me. I forgot about
sorry.
it completely. That's my brain. No, I'm glad you said that because I forgot. Oh my gosh. And I watched the show. Like I made it a point to start from the beginning and watch every episode through because I wanted to be able to make the connections. And my idiotic self forgot that opening sequence completely.
Because it was such a
thank you.
standalone little moment, and then the show starts, so you could easily not forget it. I totally see it because it didn't make sense with the rest of the show, but now you understand why how it's folded back
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. So
No.
as we see this shot of Donovan, a projection happens on the wall, and it is that sixth birthday tape. And we now see Edmund, and he is dressed now as a woman. He must have more costumes in his trunk, and he has like a blue dress on. I'm going to do a terrible job. Do you have a better description of his outfit, Kelly, that you would like to?
I just remember the blue dress and the white gloves, and I can't remember too much more of what he was wearing.
Did
He has a wig on, a
Okay,
woman's
yeah.
wig. Yeah, yeah. He's wearing a woman's wig. So he's definitely trying to go for woman here, but he doesn't,
It's not.
it looks
it's
like
not
a terrible
convincing
woman.
one. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we realize in this moment that he is pretending to be Donovan's mother. And he starts reading the lines that his mother was giving, so quote unquote, in the VHS tape. So he's pretending to be the mother, and he starts trying to force Donovan to reenact the birthday, that same moment that happened. And now in this moment, Donovan is reenacting as being the little boy. Edmund is forcing him to do it, but in the meantime, Donovan is also begging for his life. I think he realizes in this moment that this is not going to end well, and he's terrified. Like finally, he's not laughing at Edmund for the first time, and I'm sure Edmund is kind of reveling in that. So Edmund now takes the camera, and he's the cameraman laughing at Donovan while he's delivering these lines and begging for his life. Yeah, so he's kind of like twisted and turned the situation over. So Edmund gets up and he slowly bends Donovan's arm over the end of the chair, and then he breaks his wrist, and we hear that
Oh,
cracking sound. Yeah. So Donovan manages to get loose in the chair and kind of like tries to get out, and Edmund's on top of him, and he ends up trapping his leg, and he snaps that in half. And then as the screen fades to black, we just keep hearing bones cracking and crunching and really loud, in the silence fades. That's it.
More crunching
Yeah.
bones.
Yeah. And that's the first real connection I think we have to
Yeah.
Edmund and that crunching and cracking sound. So we finally get to make that connection that, wait, something weird's going on for sure.
But yeah, this is where stuff starts to connect. So you got that opening scene. You now know who all that crazy stuff was. So yeah, this is where
And
it starts.
now with him being adopted and with Dawn having a history of being adopted too, is that, I mean, I can wait, but is that
I can
going
wait, but
to...
it's something you should think about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in
the
mind
back
then.
of your mind.
All right.
Yeah, they dropped that
Yeah.
in there in this episode because everything's about to unfold after this. Yeah.
Because
'Cause I think what is
remember
it-
at the beginning.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say they were in a foster home at the beginning with the first murders. So there's been a lot of talk of fosters and adoptions and things like that. Sorry, go ahead though, Kelly.
No, I was just going to say because I think we just did episode 4, and what is there, 8 total or 6? I think
Yeah.
it's 8.
Oh,
Oh, I hope there's 8.
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8. Okay, yeah. So the second half of this, a bunch of things will start to fall into place, and then there are also going to be a bunch of twists that you did not see coming. But the stuff's going to start to fall into place. Yeah.
Well, I still, like I said, I love that the character she's playing is still just like a badass. Like when she rolled up on all those
Yes.
men, she could have easily just like been like, no thanks, and left. But she still took that opportunity to tell him, like, don't fuck with my kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was like
In the
that
middle
moment
of
when
that
she
whole-
marched up at Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I kind
she's
of.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying she's always like, brave, and she doesn't back down. And I love that about her and her characters. Like, even though she's a different character in this season, that she still like kind of carried that quality over. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like that because I know Kristen's like she was, leaving quickly, but at the same time still like did all that. I think part of
Really
it
swalky.
was like she's being the protective mom, but at the same time, like
Yeah.
I'm also a cop. You guys aren't gonna run me off
Right,
like that. You know what I mean?
right.
I'm not gonna run away in fear of you. We're all equals, basically.
Because then they get what they want. If
Right.
that's, what she does.
Mhm.
But they're not clocking that she's standing on business.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
And I like how this episode does show those covert ways that people can try to intimidate you to put you in your place. And I think we saw a lot of different means that men use to try to intimidate women, and they were trying to pull all of them on her, and yet she still stood up to him. So I think that, seeing that strong character in this way is super important. And like you said, I love her portrayal of it because she's really good at that role.
And you notice it
Yeah.
each time, like the men are like even with the prostitute, each time the men are doing something where to intimidate women, it's only because they didn't get like they have an
Yep.
idea in their head of how we're supposed to react, and they don't get that reaction,
Mhm.
and then their whole world falls apart.
Yeah,
And that's what
for
happened with both
sure.
these men. All of a sudden, we're called 10 types of whores and bitches or whatever, and it's just you didn't get the response you thought you were gonna get. And it
Yeah.
wasn't a wild, a crazy
Mhm.
response, but like, was Dawn supposed to hug you and say we're BFFs now, McKinney, because you apologized for making me look like a corpse or whatever you did? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Which,
crazy.
on top of that, like, I don't think pranks are funny. Please don't prank me. Like, they're
No,
not my
I'm not a prank
thing.
person.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. But in Edmund's defense, being laughed at does really, especially when you're already agitated, being like there's the whole thing about how women are afraid that men will kill them. Men are afraid that women will laugh at them. Have you ever heard that saying? But it's like,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
genuinely, if you've ever been in a fight with somebody or had, if things have been heated and you're arguing or something and somebody laughs, that really does like do something.
Enraging.
It
Yeah.
does. It enrages you. I mean,
Mhm.
not to the point, obviously, I'm going to attack somebody or kill somebody, but it does just kind of light that fire in you where you're just like, okay, well, all bets are off now. Now I've got to
Yeah.
like tear you down because that just, it irks me. It really gets under my skin when somebody does that. So
100%.
I get it from
Mhm.
that point.
I don't know. I think because it's always happened to me. Because apparently, when I am truly angry, apparently it is funny. Because it's not even somebody who's trying
No.
to. I've had like female friends, boyfriends, or whatever. They all say that I get to a certain point. So a lot of times people try to push me to that. But I
Yeah.
think I just and it might also be something I'm doing to break the tension. Because the angrier I get, like the quicker my comebacks will get, and then
So
I'll
it's
just start
funny.
I
Yeah.
actually start to say stuff that apparently is funny.
It is.
Like,
But yeah, but everyone's like, it's so,
Yeah.
they're not trying to laugh at me to piss me off. They're truly just laughing at something ridiculous I just said.
Because she
Which
goes
is
as a
low.
comeback.
Oh,
And
I bet.
she,
I
Oh, yeah.
bet.
she grabs underneath the ground and thinks of anything that you have in your. Don't tell her any
Oh, I
secrets.
like
She's gonna
that.
bring it
Only
back
when
to
it's
you.
warranted, though.
Oh,
Only
yeah. Oh,
when
Yeah.
it's
no. Only when it's
warranted.
warranted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen you furious. I've never seen you
It
like
takes a lot to get me, like, truly
Yeah, her
overly
it
angry.
does.
emotional, honestly, in any
Mm.
way. I think you're able to stay calm in a way that not everybody is. So that's a good thing.
Well, then that makes it extra, like, scary when she does have to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I would think so too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
But,
funny because speaking of like, going low, like I've had that conversation with my daughter because she walks home from school sometimes now. And I've had that conversation where don't talk to strangers. If anybody were to ever approach you, don't ever go anywhere with them. And she's like, I'm just going to tell them, get away from me, you fat, ugly piece of junk or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, do that. Hurt their feelings, make them cry, like whatever you got to say. Because she was saying some things where I'm like, that would hurt. That would hurt my feelings if you said that to
Yeah.
me. So maybe that's a different tactic she could use,
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
hurt their feelings and hurt their ego to the point where they just leave crying. That could work. But
And just tell her no matter how nice they are, as an adult, no adult needs your help.
that's
They don't
right.
need you to help them
Yep.
with anything.
That's right. And I
Yep.
told her, I said, and if they threaten to hurt me or hurt your family, I said, none of that's true. They're not going to do any of that. And don't ever go somewhere with somebody, whatever you got to do. And she's like all for it. I think at this point, she's almost hoping it'll happen so that she gets
So
the
she can
opportunity to
test
swear
out her,
and kick
flex her
people.
skills.
She's gonna give him a
Yeah,
good
exactly,
cussing. I
so.
already know.
Yep.
She's gonna be using words she's never used before. She's
White
waiting
would love
for
to
it.
hear it. Yes.
I need
She wouldn't
Kelly
be
to give her
saying
some
junk.
classes on, like, what stuff she can say to really hit below the belt. Yeah.
We'll be happy to help her. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got some
Mm.
saved up
Well,
that
they
can really
say
take an
they
ego
say
down.
when kids scream, like if they were to be like snatched or something, that nobody's going to really pay attention to a kid screaming because kids scream a lot. So they say, tell your kid to swear curse words or something that a kid wouldn't normally say because that will get people's attention. So I have told her
That's
that. I
smart.
said, if anything were to ever happen, just swear, say, I don't know this person. This isn't my dad. Say the F word, say whatever you got to say to get people to help you or to draw attention to yourself. Because if you're just crying and screaming, you're like, shut that kid up. And you're not, you're just thinking it's a kid throwing a fit or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so it's sad to have these conversations, but at least they know.
Allison,
we
didn't
live
you do
in,
that? And if
unfortunately.
it's not if it's not
Mhm.
true, I'll have to cut it out. But didn't you do that to Mom one time in Target where she got mad at you and you started acting like she was hurting you and you were
I
I
probably
feel
did. I wouldn't put it
I feel
past
like
me
we told
as
the
a
story like
child.
Allison got pissed at my mom. She started going, "Ow! Ow, stop." And my mom
She's hitting
actually wasn't
me.
hurting her yet.
No.
Oh,
I might
that's
have.
diabolical.
I wouldn't put it
It
past
is.
myself. I probably did. I know I
It
threatened to
is.
call like CPS on her a few times,
Yeah. We've
but
all done that.
like everyone in our family like hands you the phone and say do it because they know that I won't. So
Right, right.
Mhm.
She called your bluff, yeah.
go ahead and
I
do
was
with
I
it.
was telling Kelly, my mom used to pull my hair and say that if I did call CPS that they could never prove it. So when your mom mentioned about yanking your ponytail, it made me think of all the times my mom pulled my hair when I was younger.
So it leaves no marks.
So
You
No
can't prove
mark.
it. Yeah.
nope. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
80s and
man.
90s parenting. Well,
Yep.
well, thanks guys. And yeah, we're halfway through and the second half gets wild and it's really good. So I'm excited
Awesome.
to continue this. But thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this is good. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
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 For more information about our episodes, follow us on Instagram at Fear and Wine Pod. And if you have a fun discussion question that you'd like for us to answer on the podcast, send it to us at fearandwinepod@gmail.com.